She stood in front of her closet, fingers brushing lightly over a row of handbags collected through the years. Some were gifts, others carefully chosen during milestones. A retirement, a trip to Paris, a spontaneous treat on a good day. But today, none of them felt quite right. Something had shifted, not in the bags, but in her. There's a moment in every woman's life, especially after 60, when she realizes she's outgrown more than just the trends. She's evolved, her sense of self has deepened, and suddenly, the bright floral tote she once adored feels too loud. The tiny crossbody she carried everywhere now feels impractical. It's not about giving up style, it's about finding one that finally feels like home. That's the magic of a handbag. It's never just an accessory, it's an extension of how you move through the world, your confidence, your ease, your grace. And if you've ever felt like your current collection doesn't quite match the woman you are today, you're not alone. Which brings us here. In this video, we're diving into the top 5 handbag trends of 2025 that are redefining elegance, function, and personal style, especially for women who know that timeless doesn't have to mean boring. And yes, we'll also say goodbye to a few old favorites, those once beloved styles that are quietly fading away as fashion matures, just like we do. Because the truth is, the right handbag doesn't just complete an outfit, it reminds you of who you've become. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's rediscover the bags that match your beautiful, evolving self. Oversized bags, carrying more than just essentials. There's something undeniably powerful about a woman carrying an oversized bag. Not because it's big, but because it says, without words, I carry a life that's full. Oversized bags are making a strong return in 2025, not as clunky catch-alls, but as beautifully structured pieces that blend function with effortless style. For women over 60, they're more than just trendy. They're a reflection of lived experience. They hold more than just lipsticks and wallets. They hold hand cream, a paperback novel, extra glasses, tissues for a friend. And perhaps most importantly, they carry the quiet confidence of a woman who no longer feels the need to minimize herself. Designers are now embracing this shift. We're seeing softer shapes in luxe materials like pebbled leather and textured canvas. Think earthy neutrals, warm browns, or rich navy tones that go with everything in your closet. These bags aren't shouting for attention. They whisper refinement. And let's talk practicality. An oversized bag fits everything you need for the day. A water bottle, your favorite scarf, a small makeup pouch, even your tablet or planner. No more choosing between what to bring and what to leave behind. You can take it to brunch, to the market, or on a short weekend trip. The same bag adapts to wherever life leads you. And isn't that what elegance after 60 is about? Moving with ease, living without compromise. The best part? An oversized bag doesn't just support your lifestyle. It enhances your outfit with that understated, effortless glamour that only gets better with age. Pair it with a soft cashmere sweater, wide-leg trousers, or a flowing midi dress. Suddenly, you're not just dressed, you're arriving. And when people see you walk into a room, poised, purposeful, bag in hand, they won't just see the accessory. They'll see the woman who owns it, because true style is never about the object. It's about the energy it carries. Daytime clutches, elegance that moves with you. There was a time when clutches only came out after dark. Tiny, glamorous companions reserved for dinner parties, galas, and evenings you dressed up just for the sake of it. But 2025 is rewriting the rules. Clutches are no longer nighttime exclusives. They're stepping boldly into the daylight. And for women over 60, this shift couldn't be more perfect. The new generation of daytime clutches offers everything we crave: style, practicality, and just the right touch of sophistication. They're larger than their evening counterparts, designed to carry what actually matters: your phone, glasses, lipstick, a wallet, even a small notepad. You no longer have to sacrifice space for style. More than that, they elevate even the simplest outfit. Picture this: a flowy linen blouse, high waisted jeans, and a soft leather clutch tucked effortlessly under your arm. It's relaxed, it's polished. It's the kind of quiet confidence that doesn't ask for attention. It just naturally gets it. Daytime clutches are being reimagined in supple textures, unexpected shapes, and playful colors. From buttery beige to deep wine, from curved silhouettes to envelope folds, each one adds personality without overpowering the rest of your look. And if you're thinking clutches are too fancy for errands or coffee dates, think again. That's the beauty of style at this stage in life. You get to wear what feels good whenever you want. No rules, no waiting for a special occasion, because you are the occasion. Clutches also encourage intentionality. They remind you to carry only what serves you, to let go of the clutter in your bag, and maybe even in your day. It's a small shift. But sometimes it's the smallest things that signal the biggest changes in how we show up in the world. And when you walk into the room with a clutch in hand, chin slightly lifted, smile calm and unhurried, you're not just making a fashion choice, you're making a statement. Elegance isn't loud, it's quietly certain. Hobo bags, effortless elegance in every curve. Some bags speak with structure, others, they exhale. That's the feeling of a hobo bag: soft, slouchy, and perfectly imperfect, just like life after 60. In 2025, hobo bags are reclaiming their place as the go-to for women who crave both comfort and style. And it's easy to see why. They don't try too hard. They simply belong. Crafted from buttery leathers and gentle suedes, hobo bags drape naturally against the body, moving as you move. They're not stiff, they're not loud, they're quietly elegant, like the woman who knows who she is without needing to explain it. What makes them so special for mature women is the way they balance form and freedom. You can toss in your essentials: glasses, keys, wallet, even a scarf and a paperback, and still feel light. Nothing feels crammed, nothing feels heavy, just easy. And ease is the new luxury. These bags work with almost any outfit. A cotton button down and white slacks. Perfect. A flowing dress and ankle boots? Even better. They have that rare ability to soften a look without making it sloppy, to add movement without chaos, and to bring warmth without effort. It's like carrying a quiet kind of joy on your shoulder, one that says, I'm not chasing trends, I'm curating my own. Designers are leaning into this spirit. We're seeing rich neutrals, camel, charcoal, deep olive, as well as muted jewel tones that flatter aging skin beautifully. And the best part? They transition seamlessly from day to evening. One bag, endless moments. So whether you're heading to the farmer's market or meeting friends for dinner, the hobo bag walks with you like an old friend, soft, reliable, and always stylish. Because sometimes the most elegant things in life aren't the ones that shout. They're the ones that simply stay. Suede bags, soft luxury, deep style. There's a quiet kind of luxury that doesn't sparkle. It whispers. And suede is its voice. Unlike shiny leathers or trendy hardware, suede has an almost poetic texture. It catches the light differently. It softens every edge. It invites a second glance, not because it demands one, but because it deserves one. For women over 60, suede bags offer something more than fashion. They offer depth. They speak to a woman who's lived, who's loved, who knows that elegance isn't about being seen, it's about being remembered. In 2025, suede is making a refined comeback in handbag design. in the form of simple silhouettes with luxurious finishes. You'll find crescent shapes, minimalist totes, and slouchy crossbodies, all wrapped in textures that feel like velvet against your skin. But it's not just about the feel, it's about the emotion. Suede has a warmth to it, a lived-in richness. It complements the softness that often comes with age, not just in body, but in spirit. And the color palette, think warm cognac, deep aubergine, dusty rose, forest green. These are hues that don't fade into the background. They glow against silver hair, golden skin, and eyes that have seen decades of life. Of course, suede comes with its own kind of care. It's a material that asks you to be gentle. But isn't that a beautiful metaphor? Some of the most precious things in life are the ones you learn to care for. A suede bag paired with a wool coat or a silk blouse can elevate your look instantly. It's the detail that says, yes, I still care about how I show up in the world, but only in ways that feel true to me. Whether you're heading to brunch, the theater, or just taking a slow walk through the park, a suede bag adds grace without the need for perfection. Because at this age, beauty isn't polished, it's lived in, and that, in itself, is extraordinary. Bucket bags, structure meets soul. Some bags are built for fashion, others are built for function. But the bucket bag, it does both, and it does it beautifully. Once seen as casual or utilitarian, the bucket bag is stepping into 2025 with a bold new presence. Designers are reimagining it with sleeker lines, elevated hardware, and materials that speak of quiet sophistication. It's no longer just a bag, it's a statement. A blend of geometry and grace, wrapped into a silhouette that feels fresh, yet timeless. For women over 60, the bucket bag is a practical dream. Its deep cylindrical shape holds everything: your wallet, phone, a notebook, reading glasses, even that emergency snack or pill case, without looking bulky. It's the kind of design that understands your day, full, flowing, and sometimes unpredictable. But don't mistake practicality for plainness. These bags now feature rich leathers, textured weaves, subtle metallic details, and inventive closures like drawstrings, magnetic snaps, or sculptural rings. There's personality in every curve, and the styling, endlessly versatile. You can sling one over your shoulder with a tailored blazer and trousers for a gallery opening, or wear it crossbody with a linen tunic and sandals for a day at the farmer's market. It follows you from morning meetings to evening wine, from quiet errands to spontaneous detours. The bucket bag doesn't try to be everything. It simply is solid, stylish, steady. And at this stage in life, isn't that what we all want more of? A sense of being held without being boxed in. So when you wear a bucket bag, soft leather against your hip, everything you need safely tucked inside, you're not just organized, you're radiant. Because elegance after 60 is not about downsizing. It's about expanding into your truest self, with accessories that rise to meet the life you're still writing. Leopard print bags, when loud no longer feels like you. There was a time when walking into a room with a leopard print bag felt thrilling. Bold, playful, unapologetically confident. It made a statement, one that said, I'm still here and I want to be seen. But as seasons change, so do we, and sometimes the volume that once felt empowering starts to feel a little too loud. In 2025, leopard print bags are gently fading from the fashion spotlight, not because they're bad, but because our definition of elegance is shifting. Women over 60 are no longer seeking to stand out just for the sake of it. They're seeking depth, clarity, a kind of style that speaks softly but leaves a lasting impression. And in that evolution, bold animal prints like leopard are being replaced by textures, tones, and finishes that feel more intentional. Think warm neutrals, soft matte leathers, minimal hardware, details that invite curiosity, not noise. It doesn't mean you have to toss your favorite leopard piece. Fashion is cyclical, and if that bag once made you feel beautiful, it still holds value. But perhaps it now belongs in moments of nostalgia, not in your everyday expression, because elegance at this age is less about proving anything and more about aligning with who you've become. There's beauty in subtlety, power in restraint, and a quiet kind of sophistication that comes from knowing you don't have to wear a roar to be heard. So if your leopard print bag is starting to feel more costume than character, it might be time to let it rest. Not because you've lost your edge, but because you've refined it. Furry textures, from playful to past. They were once the darling of winter wardrobes, soft, fuzzy, and undeniably eye-catching. Furry textured bags added whimsy to any outfit. They felt like a warm hug on a cold day, a bit of fun, a bit of flair, and a lot of personality. But as 2025 unfolds, the fashion world is leaning in a new direction. Sleek, streamlined, subtle. And somewhere along the way, the fluff began to feel too much. It's not that furry bags are wrong, they still carry a kind of charm. But for many women, especially those stepping confidently into life after 60, they no longer reflect who we are becoming. We're embracing clarity. We're choosing textures that speak of refinement. Smooth leathers, supple suedes, woven finishes that age gracefully with time. In that quiet shift, furry embellishments are being gently set aside. Because today's elegance isn't about playfulness for the sake of trend, it's about harmony, about letting your accessories enhance, not distract. You may still have a soft faux fur clutch tucked away in your closet, and that's okay. It served you well, maybe at a holiday party or on a snowy walk downtown. It brought smiles, sparked compliments, held memories. But now you might find yourself reaching for something different, something that feels less like novelty and more like you, a structured leather crossbody, a pebbled tote in warm taupe, a bag that doesn't shout but nods, elegantly, to your presence. Letting go of a trend isn't about letting go of joy, it's about evolving your expression of it. Because after 60, style becomes more than decoration. It becomes a mirror. And as your spirit softens, strengthens, and simplifies, so does your taste. Furry bags had their moment, and maybe they'll return someday. But for now, it's okay to crave something smoother, something that reflects the quiet luxury of being at peace with yourself. Wristlets, when convenience isn't enough. There was a time when wristlets felt like the perfect solution. Small, simple, easy to grab and go. Tied delicately around the wrist, they gave the illusion of freedom. No heavy straps, no bulky shapes, just the essentials. Your phone, a credit card, maybe a lipstick. And for a while, that felt like enough. But over time, our needs changed. Our days became fuller, more layered. Errands led to lunches, which turned into impromptu outings or quiet detours for self-care. And suddenly, that dainty little pouch wasn't keeping up. In 2025, wristlets are quietly stepping out of focus, not because they've failed, but because our lifestyle now calls for more. More space, more ease, more flexibility. We want bags that support our rhythm, not restrict it, that can carry a small notebook, a snack, reading glasses, not just the bare minimum. It's not about carrying more things, it's about carrying what matters, with grace. And grace needs room to breathe. For women over 60, this shift feels especially true. We've earned the right to move through life unhurried, uncramped, unbound, to choose bags that honor our pace, not demand we keep up with someone else's. There's also the matter of design. Wristlets, while once charming, often lack the structure and elegance that define modern mature style. We're choosing details now, not just convenience. Materials that last, shapes that flatter, Pieces that say, "I've arrived," without saying a word. So if you find yourself hesitating before reaching for that old wristlet, trust that instinct. It doesn't mean you're being high maintenance. It means you're finally allowing yourself to expect more, because you deserve more. Not more clutter, but more alignment. A bag that moves with you, not just sits on your wrist. Fringe details, when playful becomes overdone. There's something undeniably fun about fringe. It moves when you move. It dances in the breeze. It adds that bohemian flair that once made you feel alive, bold, untamed. Fringe was never subtle, and that's what made it exciting. But over time, what once felt expressive can start to feel like costume. In 2025, fringe details are gracefully bowing out of the spotlight. The focus now: clean lines, polished silhouettes, subtle craftsmanship that lets the woman shine, not just the design. For women over 60, this change feels almost intuitive. Fringe belongs to a chapter of freedom and flair, but we've turned the page. Not because we've become less bold, but because our boldness has evolved. It no longer needs to be loud to be heard, no longer needs to swing wildly to be felt. Today's elegance lives in restraint, in the whisper of fine stitching, in the richness of a minimalist shape, in the quiet strength of just enough. That doesn't mean fringe has no place. It can still be beautiful, on a suede jacket for a music festival, or on a treasured piece tucked away for memories. But it no longer defines us. We are no longer women who need embellishment to feel seen. We are women who walk into a room and let our presence do the talking. And when our accessories speak, they speak with clarity, not clutter. So if your bag still jingles and swings with every step, ask yourself, is it saying what you want it to say? Or is it clinging to a version of you that's ready to rest? There's power in letting go, of noise, of nostalgia, of the need to decorate what is already whole. Because style, like life, becomes richer when it simplifies, not because we're doing less, but because we've finally figured out what matters more. Mini bags, when less is just not enough. They were everywhere, adorable, trendy, and oh so Instagrammable. Mini bags took the fashion world by storm, tiny treasures barely big enough to hold a lipstick and a dream. And for a while, we embraced them, because they felt fresh, youthful, fun. But here's the thing about fun: it fades. And what remains is the question we eventually all ask: does this still serve me? In 2025, mini bags are slowly stepping off center stage, not because they're outdated in look, but because they're outdated in purpose. For women over 60, life is too rich, too layered, too real to fit into something that small. We need more than pretty. We need practical. And no, that doesn't mean boring. It means embracing pieces that work with our lives, not against them. A bag that can hold your glasses, your keys, a journal, a little pouch of vitamins, maybe even a snack. That's elegance. Because elegance isn't measured by how tiny your accessories are. It's measured by how effortlessly they support the life you lead. Mini bags, for all their charm, require constant negotiation. What to bring, what to leave, what to hold in your hand, because it simply won't fit. And that's not freedom, that's compromise. And we've done enough of that. At this stage, we're not shrinking to fit anything anymore. Not a trend, not a silhouette, not someone else's idea of what's in. We're choosing space, breath, ease, and if that means saying goodbye to that cute little purse with the gold chain, so be it. Let it be a memory. Because what lies ahead is even better. A version of style that grows with you, not holds you back. And you, my dear, deserve nothing less. You don't need to be 30 to feel beautiful. She looked at her handbag, not the one she used to carry at 30, but the one resting softly in her hands now. Spacious, elegant, thoughtfully chosen, and somehow it just felt right. Because it wasn't about the trend, it wasn't about what others thought looked good on her, it was about how she felt when she carried it. That's the beauty of style after 60. You stop dressing for approval and start dressing for alignment. You know what works. You know what feels like you. And most importantly, you've earned the freedom to walk away from anything that doesn't. In this video, we've walked through bags that are rising in grace and purpose, oversized silhouettes that support your rhythm, daytime clutches that celebrate simplicity, hobo bags that feel like a gentle exhale, suede that softens everything it touches, bucket bags that structure your chaos into elegance. And we've said a gentle goodbye to trends that no longer reflect who we are becoming. Not because we've outlived them, but because we've outgrown them. Because your style now is not just about what you wear, it's about how you show up, with presence, with calm, with confidence. And if there's one thing you take from this moment, let it be this. You don't need to look 30 to feel radiant. You don't need to chase trends to be timeless. You don't need to be anyone else, because who you are now is already beautiful. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this spoke to your heart, I'd love for you to subscribe and stay connected, because here we celebrate elegance at every age, and you, my friend, are just getting started.